I thought this should be something that I could share with the rest of the world. Give me 1 second. I want to talk about my self-love journey. I want to talk about where I'm at in my self-love journey. But first, I would like to say this. I have been through a lot. I don't want to get too into it, but I have been through a lot. And I do want to let you guys know that if you are someone who has been through something, or you're going through something, or someone hurt you, or look, hurt people. That's something that I learned. I've been learning is that hurt people. Someone who is hurting, because I've done it. I've been on both sides of the fence. But one thing I can honestly say is that when someone is hurt and they haven't healed, they're going to do the exact same thing to you or to someone else. And it doesn't mean to look at that person in a negative way. It doesn't mean to, talk about them, call them names. No, let them go with compassion. It's okay. Because at the end of the day, your presence will always be a blessing. You will always be missed. The feeling that you gave them is not the same feeling that they're going to get, but they're going to chase that feeling. But guess what? They'll never feel it again. See, I hear a lot of people talking about chosen ones, and I'm just going to say this. As a woman of resilience, as a woman who has been through abuse, a woman who has been through domestic violence, a woman who has been homeless before, and a woman who has hurt people herself, I can say karma is one hell of a bitch. It sure is. But you know what? At the end of the day, I learned a lot. I learned that when a person shows you their cards, that's who they really are. Now, let me tell you something, because I know a lot of people are going to start talking about, manifesting and all that. I'm never saying that you can't do what you're doing, no. But sometimes we do have to look at things in a realistic standpoint. And I feel that when I wouldn't want to allow someone back into my life if I knew somebody hurt me and they made me feel a certain kind of way. Even knowing I can manifest that individual back, I still wouldn't want to do it. Want to know why? Because I know my worth. That's why. See, when a lot of us get hurt, we don't trust within ourselves. I was looking at a video and listening to it. It said, when we get betrayed, we feel like we betrayed ourselves. We feel like the whole world is against us. In fact, we feel that we can't even trust who we are because we start to think something is wrong with us. We start to believe that we're not good enough. And then we fall into this negative pattern, and then we start to do what that person did to us onto someone else. But see, that's where you have to stop the cycle, and you have to take a step back, and you have to say, I need to focus on me. I need to love myself. I don't need validation from anyone else. I have fun being with, one of my biggest manifestations was really having a very strong connection with my godmother and my godbrother. And the connection has got so much better because I've been working on myself. I've been loving myself. I've been the type to always say, oh, the world is against me, people, this, I've lost people. There's people that I don't talk to, but you know what? I have conversations with me. I talk to me. And then I'm in a house full of individuals that do care about me. I don't agree with everything that they say. No. I don't need their validation. No. But at the end of the day, love is everywhere. See, one thing I was looking at, I forgot his name. I think it was Dr. Wayne. I think it was that. He said that the universe is perfect. See, we only decide to allow certain things to hurt us. Even if that person did something to you, that person cheated on you, that person manipulated you, whatever, you dated a narcissist, honey, let me tell you something. Sometimes we have to look at ourselves and we have to say, was we loving us? Did I love me? Because I seem to have allowed this person to make me feel as if though I'm not good enough for the next individual, or I'm just not good enough in general. See, we have to really take a step back and focus on ourselves. And this is one thing I have never done. I've never really focused on myself. I've never really taken the time to really focus on my mental health, because I have to know my triggers when I have my episodes. I have to know who I am, because if I don't know me, how will I know someone else? If I'm not comfortable with being alone and being in my solitude, like I had mentioned in my last video, how am I going to be comfortable being around someone else? I don't want a half-ass relationship. No, I don't want that woman to make me happy. No, I want to be able to be happy within myself and be whole within myself, because I've decided to do the work. I decided to heal. I decided to heal from the trauma and not put that on the next individual that does not deserve it. I decided to get my ass up and say, I do love myself. I decided to love myself, to learn to understand myself, to learn to put myself first and put myself as a priority. I have decided that it is time to take care of me mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. It's not just only about eating healthy and getting in the gym. No. What about my mentality? Focusing on what makes me happiness. Focusing on what makes me happy. Focusing on the things that keep me going. What keeps me going is this channel. What keeps me going is it's not about the subscribers. It's just simply because I love to do it, and it's something that I'm always going to keep doing. Even right now, I'm feeling sleepy. I don't get as much rest as a normal person does, but I'm still not making excuses, because this is something that I love to do. My book is the same thing. Learning more, reading more. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when I do slack, I hold myself accountable, right? Okay, exactly. See, when you are taking the steps to loving yourself, you are taking that time to really enter a journey of a lifetime. A lot of people do not want to love themselves. And see, this is something that Kevin Gates has said. A lot of people don't want to be alone because they don't want to face themselves. I'm going to switch it and say a lot of people don't want to love themselves because they're not ready to see the true identity of who they are. They're not ready to face their demons. They're not ready to face the ugly, the bad, the worse, and the good. Let me tell you something. Before you even, a lot of people, it's like this. That's why you don't want to sit there and you don't just want to paint a picture of just, okay, I'm just this perfect individual and I have nothing to work on. You're always working on something. The self journey does not end. It's a journey. It's not a destination. Self-love is a journey, not a destination. Healing is a journey, not a destination. Changing is a journey, not a destination. So when you are looking back at that person that hurt you, when you're crying over this individual, you need to understand that it is okay. Because baby, listen, you have so much more that is waiting for you on the other side. They were not meant to be on the path that you were destined to be on. I'm not saying that if you want to manifest your ex, do what you do. I'm not saying any of that. But because I've decided to really, I was once manifesting my ex-girlfriend, but I stopped. And it's not because at first it was because it was so much of I didn't forgive her and I kept telling myself I did. But I actually decided to do the work. You feel me? And I decided to say, you know what? I release her with nothing but compassion, love, and light. Okay? Now, a lot of people might say, if you don't understand manifesting, you manifesting a person, manifesting anybody, look it up on your own time. But honestly, if a person has hurt you, that was their mistake. It has nothing to do with you. Right? I know that two people do play a part, but if someone took advantage of you, someone who made you feel a certain type of way, which they shouldn't have, because we should not allow individuals to make us feel a certain way, because we have control over our own thoughts, feelings, and emotions, right? Okay. But if someone that you know hurt you, and you know that you invested time, energy, and love into this individual, let them go, forgive them, and just let them go with compassion, love, and light. Don't say you hate them. Don't look at them a certain way. Don't be like, bitch, run up. You already know. Daily Dose told me what's good. Like, what's popping? Be like, what's popping? Be like, what's popping? No, we don't want to do none of that. We don't want to do that. I did want to do that to my ex-girlfriend when she did what she did. Let me tell you guys something. The reason I'm telling y'all this is because I know what it feels like to be hurt. I know what it feels like for someone to make you feel like you're not good enough. I know what it feels like to be verbally abused and mentally abused, as well as physically abused. I know what it feels like to be cold out there on the streets and you have nowhere to go or no one to turn to. I never shared this, but there was one time when I was on the streets and I was looking for a place, and the place didn't exist. My ex, he actually had threw me out, and at the time we was staying with his grandmother. Now I stayed with this guy, and he had a whole girlfriend, right? I was very young. I know it was a stupid idea, but what happened was I messed up, and I don't want to get too much into the story, but what happened was I ended up getting kicked out, or whatever the case may be, by him. So after I had got kicked out, what happened was there was a friend of mine, an old friend, who told me like, hey, I got this homie that has this place, but there's another girl that's kind of in your similar situation. So they gave me the address. I was looking for the address, but she didn't know that he lied. So I was looking for the address, and I was out there, and I was on Bellflower. Now I remember this lady giving me a cheeseburger, and I didn't even really accept it or whatever, but I was going somewhere. But before I even went there, one of my ex-boyfriends was telling me, he asked me, he said, why are you smiling if you know that you don't have a place to go? I didn't know what to say. So what happened afterwards, we ended up, separating. I ended up going my way. He went his way. And I was traveling and looking for this place, and there was this guy. Now I remember trying to find an outlet because my phone was dying, and I told him, I can't find the place, And there was this guy that came up to me, and he was jogging, and he said, you're too intelligent to be out here on the streets. And I was like, oh. And then next thing you know, I ended up going, I was so cold, and I was sitting like in like this washer and dryer room. This that they have like with the apartments or whatever. And I was so cold, ice cold. And this guy let me stay there or whatever, but I was sleeping in like a cot. I forgot what you call it. It's like what they use in the military. If you know, put it in the comments. So I was sleeping there, and then he cuddled me, but he kept trying to have sex with me. And I was uncomfortable, and I said no. And he was like, come on. And I was like, no. And he finally was like, okay. He said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. I understand. I respect you. Now, if I was in another situation, something else would have happened. I felt like God was watching over me. I felt like God was with me, right? And he gave me money the next day, and I went back to LA. Now, I remember I was sitting in Carl's Jr., and this one guy asked me if I wanted to give him head. And I was like, what? No. And next thing I know, I'm in Carl's Jr., and I'm looking at these homeless people, and I'm like, I need to get my shit together. And I realized that I have came a long way, and I haven't really congratulated myself. I went to school. I went to college. I became a nurse. I went from being a nurse. I worked for the government. I went from working from the government to being a courtesy clerk, which, for some people that's a downfall. But now I'm doing what I love to do, even though a lot of people said, oh, this is something that you shouldn't do. And I feel like I haven't really given myself the amount of credit that I should. But the point is, I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like for someone to hurt you. I know what it feels like for someone to use you and to make you feel like you were nothing to them. I really do know what that feels like. And that's why I say I can never look at my ex-girlfriend and say, you know, hey, it was my bad because I wasn't using my mental status, you know, my brain, you feel me? I'm older than you, you know, and I didn't have the mental capacity to decide. So I guess I wanted to make this video for anyone out there who is hurting. Just know that things will get better. And know that sometimes when people walk away, maybe it's for the best. Because they're not meant to be on the path that we're on. I noticed that when she did walk away and when a lot of people, other people walked out of my life, I realized that I'm able to focus more on myself and to love myself and to, you know, put myself first. And I have an amazing family, and they're not blood. And I also connected with my sister who's blood, and my cousins, and you know what I'm saying. And I feel like, you know, and my nieces and my nephews, and I feel like, you know, that's a beautiful thing as well. But the place that I'm staying in now, I'm truly grateful because my godmom allowed me to come back when I had nowhere else to go. And that's why I say I don't look at anybody with any hate. Because I remember August Alsina saying, when I die, I want to be at peace. I believe that's what he was talking about. He was saying like he doesn't want no hate in his heart. And I don't want no hate in my heart. So if you know that you are going through a situation, you need to let it go. It's not easy, but trust with time. It will. And know that you are loved. And if you want to talk to me, you know, personally, you can DM me or whatever the case may be. But know that you are loved. I realized that the person I once was, that's the person I wanted to be with this individual. But the person that I am now is not the person that wants to be with that individual. Do I think about her? Yes. Does she cross my mind sometimes? Yes. But I know for a fact that who I am now and the places that I'm going with my life, I don't need distraction. I'm able to decipher and to know when a person is bullshitting me. You get what I'm saying? See, the old me would accept so much. The old me used to accept people talking shit about me, stomping on me, people pleasing. That is no longer who I am. Because someone once told me, yes, you have a good heart, but not everybody deserves your good heart. So sometimes you have to walk away and your presence has to be missed. Right? So remember that you are worth so much more. And anyone that told you that you were any less, those were their own insecurities that they were projecting onto you. Because they don't love themselves. Love you and put you first. You matter. You are a god and you are a goddess. So walk with your head high. And know that everything that you went through did not break you. It shaped you into a better person. I love y'all. Peace.